A Course in Miracles refers in its writings to a declaration of independence, which is commonly known as a political document that the July 4th holiday in the United States commemorates. Yet the Course's use of the term is for completely different purposes, being not a reference to a political manifesto, but rather to an internal spiritual manifesto. One is being called upon to declare one's freedom from the ego's fearful thought patterns, giving one's allegiance instead to a new system of thought, guided by an inner intuitive knowing, referred to in the Course as the Holy Spirit. It is like taking a stand against an oppressor, a mental bully, and declaring, "You are no longer my boss." Interestingly, July 4th in 1988 was a date that William Thetford, one of the two co-founders of the Course, released his body suddenly, while having been in a heightened sense of joy for several days prior. Yet, as the Course reminds us, we call it death, but it is liberty. In this liberating idea from Lesson 31 in the workbook, I am not a victim of the world I see, is a declaration that the world of perception holds no power over oneself. This end of victimhood has the power to free oneself from the psychological prison that fear has imagined, through its belief that external forces hold sway over one's well-being. This idea is also setting a foundation for the understanding that one is spirit, formless awareness, and not a separated physical body. And in this declaration of lack of victimhood, one asserts one will not surrender to tempting ideas of weakness and vulnerability, which would only serve to limit and restrict oneself. One is reclaiming one's essence as an unlimited, loving presence, and rejecting an identity as a separated and vulnerable self. The part of one's mind that recognizes that one is complete and whole and has everything declares one's independence from the poverty of ego thinking. That one has been given the gift of everything is a repeated theme throughout the course. What this means is that the divine love that created you is the love that you are. Love is the very substance of one's spirit self, and all love is united with all other love, and is also the only reality that truly is. Spirit mind, unlike ego mind, knows that having and being are the same. Thus, the everything that one has is also the everything that one is. One is separated from nothing, and so loss, fear, and the ego mind have no reality and exist only in one's imagination. This understanding releases one from the bondage of all fear. This prayer reminds us that the kingdom of heaven, which is the vast unity that lies in oneself, is perfectly safe from all judgments and attacks of the ego. In this inner realm, past all concepts of time and the transcending of the world of perception, one becomes aware of one's invulnerability. Egoic thought patterns attempt to hide and obscure this awareness of the oneness. But since these ideas of separation are untrue, they have never actually occurred. And in recognizing this, one is set free. By bringing the falsehood to the truth, one is released from the illusion. This important idea from Lesson 50 in the workbook affirms that one's true nourishment and source of strength comes not from the ever-changing world outside oneself, but from the ever-present protective love within oneself. All perceived problems of the world can be seen as some form of outside threat to someone's safety and well-being. The realization that one is only dependent on the never-changing love that is one's source of being liberates oneself from a false dependency on an outside world. It reveals one's true identity, one's true home, and that of others. As Jesus in the Bible tells us, I have overcome the world. It is in the declaring of this idea, I am as God created me, that one asserts one's release from the imagined self that one has made. The idea means that one is not the author of what one truly is. This is to say that what one thinks or believes one is not what one truly is. This is the authority problem, which is pointed out early in the text. The egoic mind believes that one is maker of one's own reality. And this is the idea of the self-made person. Yet what one truly is has already been created and is only to be discovered by uncovering what stands in its way. Forgiveness releases one's own false judgments, which only block the awareness of one's true identity. For what stands in the way is the way.